Hi traders, David here again from Wave Trader. So today's trade is going to be on the EUR-AUD currency pair. It's a mixed pair, an exotic pair, and I just want to show you how I got into the trade. And even though I'm currently in the trade, but I'm actually going to close the trade while making this recording just to show you guys the trade. So as you can see on my screen, I have 4 currency pairs I look at. So this helps me to actually keep tabs on the currency pairs that are trending, and this way I'm able to see the rallies and the dips quite easily. Anyway, let's go to the Euro Aussie right now, and this is the pair. So this is where the price is currently, and I got in here. I got into this trade yesterday. So I'm just going to quickly run you through from the monthly chart and let's have a look see. So on the monthly, this is what we see. You can see here, I'll just get rid of this line. You can see here that after this protracted run up in price, we had this call it a dip. Okay, so to all intents and purposes, we are actually on an uptrend, or in an uptrend rather, on the monthly chart, but this is a dip. Okay, and this is quite normal because whenever the market moves steeply like this, usually it goes back down sharply, almost the same distance, but most of the times it doesn't quite get to the beginning. So you can see where my profit target is. I suspect that's where the market is going to get to before it resumes the upward trek. You can see on the MACD we have our golden cross here, and we actually have a wave bottom situation here, which if I were to plot on the monthly chart will give us, let's see, if I use this one, you can see that the target actually went as high as the 5th, almost to the 6th before retracing. So while there's the possibility of this trend continuing in the long run, we can still trade mini setups on the smaller time frames. Okay, so let's go to the weekly time frame now and see what we see. So on the weekly time frame, you can see that we are in a protracted downtrend. Okay, if you want to look at it that way. So for the past 3 weeks now, the Euro Aussie has been in a downtrend. So that is what we are going to focus on. So even though the long-term trend is bullish, short-term wise, let's look at it from a bearish point of view. And it's important for you to know how to make these assumptions. Okay, so let's look at the indicators here. Of course, we have a wave bottom situation here, so we can call this the first wave, second wave, this whole thing here the third wave. So I believe that we are currently in the 4th wave. Okay, so that means that we still have another 5th wave. Now the 5th wave may not be as high as this point, because usually, since the 3rd wave is the longest in this instance, it's possible that the 5th wave might be truncated. And by truncated, I mean that it might not get as high as this point. It might stop somewhere here. It might get as high as this point. It might even go further. But just bear it in mind that the 5th wave may not be as long as the 3rd wave. Okay, but MACD shows us that we are in an uptrend. But you can see here that the trigger line is beginning to curve downward. So that is what is responsible for what's happening here. All right, so right now for me, at least short-term wise, my bias is to go short. Right, going to the daily time frame now. So on the daily time frame, you can see more definition here, and this is how you know it's in a fourth wave, just because of how it looks. Okay, we can actually count waves here as well, but you have to be careful and pay attention to the fact that the overall trend is bullish. Okay, now it's also possible highly that the trend, the market might not get to my target profit here. Okay, most times it will do that, but sometimes it doesn't, because we are still counting waves here. So the week has ended today, and we don't know what the next week will look like, but I'm actually anticipating that there might be a turn up in price next week. But as long as we have a dead cross here and a dead cross on the MACD, we have to keep our bias on the short side. So this is the daily chart. We have a wave top situation here. We have a dead cross on the EMAs. We have a dead cross on the MACD. So right now our bias is to go short. All right. Going to the 4-hour time frame now. This is what's been going on. So you see how important it is for you to actually take this from the monthly, because if you come to the 4-hour chart and look at this, you might not really know what direction it was going to go, because it looks to all intents and purposes like it's going to turn around right now. The MACD on the 4-hour chart has not really given me a reason to be enthusiastic. It's been very tight. Okay, the two lines have not been really separated as much as I would like to see. I like to see something like this. Okay, but you can see how close together they've been for the longest time. But right now we are in a gentle downtrend, and the only upside to this is that when you see a trend moving like this types of trend tend to take a very long time before they turn around. These gentle trends like this, okay? You want to watch out for trends that are very steep. As you can see here, the steeper the trend, the faster it turns around, okay? But gentle trends like this, they can go on for quite a while. So to all intents and purposes, I believe that the trend is still going to be bearish, at least for maybe for the next few days. Unfortunately, today is Friday, and even though I'd like to consider this as a swing trade, I think I'm just going to take my profits and consider it a day trade, okay? So this is where the market is currently. We are having a sort of, this is the 1-hour time frame, and we're having a slight positive divergence here, which you can see is beginning to push the market up. Now, it is Friday, Good Friday. So I'm just going to close the trade now. I wanted to show you guys what I did and how I got into the trade, but I'm going to close the trade because I don't want to risk getting stopped out with no profit by Monday. All right, but this is the 1-hour chart, and this is how I got into this trade. So after analyzing it from the monthly to the 1-hour chart, when I came to the market yesterday, the market, I believe it was I came when the market was in this region here. Okay, that was Wednesday. Yeah, that was Wednesday evening. Okay, in the evening I was going through the pairs. In fact, it was at night. I remember now, it was around 10:30 p.m. Nigerian time. So I was going through the pairs, and I came across this, and I'm just going to quickly show you the other currency pairs. You can see here that I'm looking at the AUD JPY, AUD CHF, and the Euro New Zealand, and you can see how they are all trending in certain directions. Okay, I have two currency pairs trending down, and I have two currency pairs trending up. So after analyzing all the currency pairs, I had to make up my mind on these four currency pairs, and because they were all doing almost the same thing, almost mirror images of what they were doing to each other, so I decided to just focus on them, and that is why I put my quad screen like this. So anyway, when I came to the chart, this is what was going on here. I'm just going to go to the 15-minute chart so we can. So on the 15-minute chart, this is what it looks like. Okay, so the market was in this region. Okay, so I knew that there might be a possible retracement. How high it was going to go, well, it was anybody's guess. But I was watching this carefully. I actually was watching it on the 1-hour chart, and I waited for the market for the whole of Thursday, I believe, until the London markets opened. Okay, times I would log out of my system, and then I'll come. When I came back, I was lucky enough to see that the market had turned around here, so I quickly got into this trade with a market order. Okay, there's a trade of 1.3 lots. So I got into the trade here, and you can see today being Friday, this is where the market is, and let's see how many pips that is. Roughly, well, 138 pips, which is not so bad at all. So for a day trade, this is fantastic, and I'm just going to take my profits here and now. So I'm just going to close the trade right now, like so. See? So now I've banked my profit for the week, and I'm still going to keep my eye on the pair and wait to see what Monday would look like. Okay, so most likely there might be a slight rally up in price, something maybe like this, and because the trend down is still predominant, I think it would be better if I waited for the trend to turn around and then I'll get in again. But bear in mind, if we were to go to the daily chart, you will see that bear in mind that I'm waiting for the upward trend to resume. And how am I going to know this? I'm going to know this conclusively when we see something like this. Okay, it might go like so. Okay, come down here, give us something in this region, and then continue the upward move. So I'm waiting for something to show up like this, and of course I'm waiting for a golden cross on the EMAs and a golden cross on the MACDs to give me conclusive evidence that this downward trend is over, and I can now begin to think bullish. So I hope that this video was instructional for you guys, and I wish you happy holidays and also happy trading. Thank you, and bye for now.